Well, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the Book Business Boss Consulting, helping you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. Now, I am super duper excited, over the top ecstatic to have my good friend, my bestie, on with me tonight. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! So it is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity, and we're talking about business. I think StreamYard and Facebook kind of fell out, so I'm gonna upload it a little bit later. They not talking to each other, and so I'll see if I can get the stream uploaded later. We may have to do that back on the back end. So welcome YouTube audience. And welcome to LinkedIn audience, and we'll get it over to Facebook in just a few minutes. But so I wanted to go ahead and have this conversation about business. I said on the other day when I was on live, I said Vanessa and we Miss Peggy Dixon always says, "Oh, this is my good friend," and she gives me her name, and then she says, we raised our children together, and that's how long we've been together since our children were small." So I said, I have no children, so I can't really talk about the biological children avenue, but I do have some business babies. So we have raised our business children together. we we have raised our business children together. We've had the opportunity to be able to grow our businesses and be in business, and woo, it's a lot. It's been a long time coming. So I want her to introduce herself, tell us where she's from, tell us where she is, and give us all that great information. And then we'll move forward having this great conversation.
Well, thank you so much, Julia. My name is Vanessa Collins. I am a publishing coach and business automation strategist, and I help authors and entrepreneurs get their tech life straight so that they can monetize their books, monetize their classes, their ideas, all of that good stuff. And normally, my audience are entrepreneurs over 50. If you're under 50, that's okay. You can join the conversation. But for us over 50, this whole entrepreneurial journey is a little bit different. And so I'm sure we're going to dig into some of that in our conversation. Thank you so much for having me here, Julia.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm gonna jump on really quickly, paste this in so people will know exactly kind of where we at. Like, where they go? What happened? What happened? So here we go, and go ahead and paste it in, and hopefully they'll be able to jump on and jump into the Zoom space. Otherwise, we'll trim it and make it happen and make it do what it do. All right. So first off, when you're talking about business, I know everybody has a different definition of business. Some people are like, "Oh, it's just a side hustle. Oh, it's just, something I do during the holidays. And oh, I'm not really trying to let the government be involved in what I'm doing and all that, but it's just kind of, and and you know. But if you have a product or service and you're charging people, whether it's, I'm going to be politically correct, is cash under the table or whatever, you're in business. You're
Yes.
in business. Whether you've registered with your Secretary of State or not, you may not get all the benefits of business, but you're still in business, whatever that looks like. From Big Mama making German chocolate cakes and pound cakes for the church fundraiser, the building fund, whatever that looks like, that you're in business. And so we really want to really kind of talk a little bit, and if you have comments, leave them in the comment section, and on the replay, however you see it, be sure and hit us up and reach back out to us. Of course, you can always reach out to Vanessa Collins at talkwithvan.com, and then Julia, aka Royston.com, or talkwithroyston.com. Can always reach out to us and let's have a conversation, and let's go from there. So let's kind of go back. to kind of the very beginning of the mindset of a business owner. For me, it is um, the ownership part, taking ownership of a thing,
Mhm.
um, character, integrity, all that good stuff. But also being able to be passionate. Now, these are mine,
Mhm.
and focused and driven and being teachable, being a lifelong learner. Oh, wait a minute, which way I'm going, Sarah? And being a lifelong learner and being able to evaluate and sit down and analyze your business. Just being able to be critical of the dollars, the X's and the O's and the pluses and the minuses and all that good stuff because it just really, I don't know. So I'm different in that I have always, I was raised um, in entrepreneurship from a child. So therefore, business is just what is what we ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, we was all in it together. We worked hard as a family, and then we played hard, and we enjoyed the fruits of our labors. And we were able, me and my sisters were able to have the benefits of the business that my parents had and the teaching that they had and around the table kitchen table talks. But I was, so I'm different in that I don't know what I'm doing. I have never seen it. No, I've seen it and I know what it takes. And I was the person who did the invoices. I'm the person who did the contracts. I'm the person who did the letters before the contract went and the invoice at the end. And at times when my parents were out of town, I was the one putting the stamp on the back of the checks and putting the filling out the Joanne, fill that out, fill the deposit slip out, taking it to the drive-through. Hi, how you doing? Oh, I put some suckers in the thing for you. Thank you. And and then you roll on. So that from start to finish, and then the pains of taxes at the end. My father hated paying taxes, but he made the money. I don't know why, but he just he worked so hard. He wanted to keep it all. No, Uncle Sam said I gotta have mine. Now in my business, I understand. I'm like, okay, give your what did Jesus say? Render Caesar what
Exactly.
render Caesar what Caesar. So how did you get started? Why did you get started? And what do you feel like after we have teenagers? Mine is 17 years old.
Mine
Uh
is 15.
just 15, 17 here. It'll be 17 in February. Happy birthday, February 4th. Royal Media is 9 years old, so it'd be 10. It's like a fifth grader. The other ones is babies, but as they say, I started off getting some old babies, but that 17-year-old is whoo. It is exciting to see. But tell us, how did you do it? What do you think is
So,
important, really?
okay. So, my background is totally different. So, I am a first generational entrepreneur. So, I grew up with the whole get a good job. Okay. Wasn't nothing about entrepreneurship. I graduated with a bachelor's in chemical engineering, and that was my idea. Was that, my mother was happy. You got a good engineering job. That's good. So the whole entrepreneurial thing, I had never seen it up close. Didn't know no entrepreneurs. There were no entrepreneurs in my family, so I learned uh, a lot of this, very similar to the whole baby thing. Because when I grew up, I didn't babysit. I wasn't the one that was always around kids. The very first diaper I changed was Stephanie's in the hospital in terms of a real baby. That was the first diaper that I changed. So, entrepreneurship, I had to learn this as I was going. So, one of the things, as you was talking about mindset, and one of the things that I kind of struggle with, and I see a lot of our clients struggle with, and that is that whole idea that as a business owner, we are paid to solve a problem. The more problems we solve, the more we get paid. And
Yeah.
so as we are positioned, as we're coming up with the products that we're offering, as we're talking about those products, how we market those products, even in terms of marketing them through books, which, of course, we have both, we both serve clients with that. It is about the client. It is about your audience. And I know, Julia, you have run into this. We've had conversations about this where we'll have people that come and just in the book area, they want to write a book and they want it to be all about them, all about my life. This what happened when I started, and this is what happened, and it's all about me, all about me. Your book has to be about your audience. Your business has to be about your audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest mindset shifts
Yeah.
that a lot of entrepreneurs have to think about. What am I doing that's going to help someone else?
Most of the time they're thinking about themselves, like what do I want? And
Absolutely.
it's not and even and God forgive me, but I'm gonna jump on in. But even the God gave it to me, it's got to be exactly like God gave it to me. Okay, yes, it is exactly like God gave it to you, but it's still, you still have to look at and think about the person that you're called to serve. You still
Yeah.
have to think about and realize the person that you're wanting to pay you, or that you're wanting to minister to, because it can't just be about you. I've seen self-serving ministries that it's all about I, me,
Yeah.
me, me.
Yeah.
And they come away and they're like, well, he had a great word, she had a great word, they had a great word, but it didn't do for me. It didn't see
Yeah.
how we could take this word here and apply it to my life.
Yeah.
And prime example, if you go in the spiritual route, is that Jesus did that every time he sat down to teach. He's like, who am I talking to?
Yeah.
Oh, these are shepherds. Okay, who am I talking to? Oh,
Yep.
these are, yeah, whoever he was talking to is how
Absolutely.
he tailored everything he was going to teach, everything he was going to talk to. So, especially those faith-based Christian authors, think about the way Mark,
Yep.
the perfect man, the end of that man's feet, the perfect man, he did that from the very beginning. He knew who everybody was and who
Yep.
he was talking to. So, I think a
Yep.
lot of times we're looking through rose-colored glasses and rose-colored eyes that, oh, this is what I like, this is what I want. And
And that's
then,
hard. It's
oh,
hard to move from that sometimes. And even with
oh,
with our business stuff, because I'm thinking as we're going into next year, and this is that time of year,
yeah,
business owners, where you have to be honest with
yeah,
yourself. You have
yeah,
to take the rose-colored glasses off.
yeah,
You got to look at them numbers. You
yeah,
got to look at what worked, what didn't work,
yeah,
why didn't it work?
yes,
Was it a product that you put out there and nobody bought it?
right,
Was it because it was the product you wanted to put out
yeah, and nobody bought it, still didn't buy it.
as opposed to the product that would help somebody else?
Yes,
Even in terms of marketing, we used to go live all the time. We used to do get out there,
let's
hit
go.
the live button, and
Yeah, let's
all of
go.
that. For me, I know for me, uh, I don't want to get on the camera no more. I done kind of let me stay behind the computer. Let me create stuff. But that is not what my audience is requiring. So I have to do this in my business. You got to figure out what is it that you need to be doing? What shift do you need to make in 2025 to take your business to the next level? And a lot of times it's stuff you already know you should be doing.
You should, but you don't want to. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there some things that I don't want to, and that I do anyway. You know why? Because I've seen people who didn't want to, and I don't want to, and I don't like that, and I don't know that. And if they don't know that I don't want to learn that. Well, you know what? They're out of business.
Yeah.
They're not. They're
Yeah.
no longer. What happened? Where'd they go?
Yeah.
They're not in business because they weren't ready to shift. They weren't ready to make the moves that were needed to. And as much as I love to travel, as much as I love to be on the road, I'm really critically looking at where did I go? how much money did it cost me literally to go
Hmm.
there?
Yep.
And there's so much of it I can chalk up to marketing and promotions, yeah. But when you come back and you're out of balance, you're clearly not, you did not
Yeah.
gain, and in 3 to 6 months you got no new clients from the visit, then you have to say, okay, that was too expensive for me to go to. It really wasn't, either they didn't have the people that they thought they were going to have, or the people didn't want what I had, and
Yeah.
and that's all right. When you tell me no, then I keep my money in my pocket and I stay somewhere else. So having those critical conversations, having that, those, looking at everything really objectively and critically. Now, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here and say, a lot of people say, but I'm passionate about what I do. I love what I do. Yes, you love what you do, but you want to be profitable. In business, you got to be, the math has to math. The
Yeah.
math has to add up.
Well,
Otherwise,
and so and let me play devil advocate to your devil advocate. So you don't have to make money if you don't want to. If you want to have a philanthropy type thing going on, you could do that. In business, there is a transfer of value. You are giving, there's a transaction. You are giving something of value and you expect something of value in return. That
right,
is a business.
right,
Now, if you want to do philanthropy where you give value and you expect nothing in return, that is absolutely fine. You could do that. But you can't complain
well,
about not making money if you are running your business as a philanthropy type organization. Now notice I didn't say nonprofit because nonprofits have to make money. The
yes,
thing about nonprofit is that there isn't, stock options. There aren't people that are, getting paid from an investment standpoint. But a nonprofit has to make money.
yeah, to stay
Yeah,
open and stay
to stay
viable
open.
and to
Right.
serve, they do. They have to make
Absolutely.
money.
But
Yeah.
listen, if you want to be Bill Gates and you want to be the other one who has given away, I don't know, 80% of his
Oh, yeah.
money.
Well, Mr. Amazon gives a lot too. They
Right.
roll
If you
everything
want to
over
be
into their
that,
foundation. Everything goes in there.
absolutely. But you
Oh,
have to understand what you're doing. If you want to be in business, then you have to make sure that that passion that you have, you are, putting that together with the principles of business,
right.
which means you can't just be passionate, you got to be profitable.
Well, and then the other thing is, though, those $1 million, $1 billion philanthropy organizations, they have to have the millions and billions to give it
They
away.
did
So
business.
therefore,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, they
Okay.
did
They
something,
did business.
inherited. Granddaddy gave it to him. Papa left it to him. Whatever happened, they
Listen,
had to get it. So there's the begin. That's the
you,
foundations of
you
it.
have to have, and you have to have the business if you want it to be healthy. You
Yes.
gotta have the business before you do the philanthropy.
Yeah, you know.
Amazon is not dropping anything at your house that you didn't pay for.
Absolutely.
Amazon is not the philanthropy arm of Jeff Bezos.
No, they
Okay.
not. No, 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 no. They getting it every day, and then they got a 58 millions out. They have to give out. Was it every month they have to give out for the? That's just the royalties for the book people. It's
Yeah.
over $50 million every month.
Yes.
So I'm always keeping up with the book thing. We're talking about business in general today, and moving forward. But after it's all said and done, it's still got to be dollars and cents and math. So whether you're selling bath beads and body butters and that, or whether you're selling jewelry and earrings or makeup or whatever you selling weed packets, whatever it is, you got to determine what did it cost me to get them, and how much am I selling, and what did I make at the end, and what do I have left over? What did I lose? Did
Yep.
something a package not arrive that I paid for? Did the water get it and all my hair swole up and I couldn't use it. I mean, what happened? And so having that black and white, the numbers and the paper and the spreadsheet, all of that down is really got to be your area. Now, if it's not your area of expertise, you've got to have somebody who can create that. So you're going to need a bookkeeper, a CPA, or all of that, financial advisor, to be able to help explain those numbers to you. Maybe you're the creative part and you're not good at the numbers, but you've got to make sure that you know the numbers. Oprah Winfrey told Tyler Perry, who told they're all in cahoots together to tell you, listen, sign your own checks, know where your money's going. Don't just turn over all your millions and billions to somebody else. And believe you me, I was watching the Oprah Winfrey show then, and I was taking notes too. Well, if I ever, no. And then I had to call Vicky Winans once, and she was answering her own phone. I was like, well, if she can answer her own phone, I can answer mine too. You eliminate some expenses, and you're really streamlining your processes, because there's some people she knows she may give one price to, and people she don't know she may give another price to. So it just all depends. So, all right, next thing, must moves for 2025. Must moves. My must moves for 2025.
I got to start with leveraging your automation. You got to get your automation life together in 2025, whether that is your CRMs or all of that stuff.
Okay, no, wait a minute. Don't say no acronym. They don't know what that is. What is CRM?
That is your custom relationship management software, your email marketing system, your whatever platforms that you're using. You must make sure you start streamlining that.
Yeah.
Getting the best platforms, looking at how much you are paying for stuff.
Yeah.
Some of you guys are paying for platforms that you do not use.
Yeah.
Got to get that
On a
together.
monthly basis, you're paying for platforms, and some of you need platforms that you refuse to use. And you're wanting social media to be I mean, that's the reason why we got an issue today, because social media went down the other day and they haven't made the reconnections back together. So therefore, oh my goodness. So what do? I go live in what I have, and then I reconnect later. I'll share later, but I'm not getting ready to stop what I'm doing and not moving my message and my business forward because one system stopped. Now that's the thing. You got to have backups to the backup to the backup plan. And some things are definitely out of your control. So having your own CRMs and having your own email marketing services is really critical. And I know some people who are running their whole business through social media. They're running their whole business through Facebook. If you want to find me, go to Facebook. If you want to find me, go to Instagram. If you want to find me, I'm on TikTok. For real, girl? That may be another option, but that can't be your only spot. You have no internet real estate of your own. You have no landing page, at least. You have one or two products. You have no landing page. You don't have even a bio link site. You have nothing like the basics. No. Moving forward in 2025, that's where your digital world has to get in some type of order. Amazon cannot be your only spot. Remember, if on the book side, Amazon cannot, for the book people listening, Amazon cannot be your only place.
Right.
That just go to Amazon. Do you know how many books? What is it? 5,000 to 6,000 books are uploaded every day on Amazon. So imagine having to search if you only know the title and you don't know the author's name, or you only know the author's name and you don't know the title, and their name is like John F. Smith or Charles M. Moore. That's a mess. So therefore, having your own website, maybe you're not ready for a full website, but you need something. You need some place that's yours, that's a .com of yours. You need something that you can communicate. I don't care if you got 5 people who bought from you. Good. Let's talk to them 5. Let's talk to them 10. People always, I don't have really enough to be starting. Yeah, baby, you do. You have to start where you start, because 5 people.
Listen, we all started with one person
Exactly.
When you signed up for the platform, you had one
Yes.
person on
And
the
I told
email
them,
list.
one person signed up. Let's do it.
We got one person. Uh,
But
you
wait a
know,
minute, what was the name of that software that didn't work unless we had another person on? What was that? You always remember the name.
Fuse meeting.
Yeah, Fuse. Was that Fuse? Listen, we used to pitch stuff and nobody would show up, but I had already had the link and everything going. And I'm like, man, you log in and at least I can record. That was, woo, what was that, like 10 years ago? You couldn't
Oh
even,
goodness, Lord. That had to be about 13 years ago now.
so you
Because I think
couldn't even
Fuse was
run
the
it.
rename because it was named
Yeah.
something else. And
It was
then,
something else, I can't even remember.
yeah,
But it's the whole point of if you just sometimes you just have to go for it and you gotta do it. But you gotta look at your always gotta go back to your numbers. You always gotta look back at your mathing,
yes.
and then you got to say, well, I've got to go for it. I can't I don't know. I can't sit and I guess it didn't hurt. Now I know Van and I are different because we are clearly when you see us side by side, we are a divine connection. God intended for us to be business besties. That he made it, he set it up, and I when I met her, I thought I was getting ready to be getting the Stella Awards and the Grammy Awards. I don't I mean, that wasn't what he had in mind. This is what he had in mind all along when I came to her church and sang. So I realized everybody doesn't have that. That's the reason why we're here today, so that you can see it in action, so you can get the encouragement you need. You can also schedule a conversation with Talk with Van. You can also schedule a talk with Royston so that you can have these conversations. So we can tell you the truth. And believe you me, we will tell you the absolute truth and give you at least the options so you can make an educated decision for your business.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. My husband retired from a Fortune 20 company. It's not even Fortune 500. His company is in the top 25 or 30. And, they're being laid off. They're being told that, here's your package. You can't even come back and get a job. You can't work for this long list of companies either. You can't even go get a job with another company that's on this list. So therefore, having a business of your own is critical
Yeah.
for your life or your money. Even that can of coffee can on top of the refrigerator, Big Mama had, all of it's going to count moving forward. So I hope we're helping you. And those of you who are going to watch the replay later, wonderful. Okay. My other two, of course, is keeping costs low, your money, your dollars and cents, and as well
Mhm.
as building relationships. It is not going to work. And I realize some people have trust issues. I have control issues, so I confess that too. So you may have the trust issue, and I have the control issue. But I do know that you can't do this by yourself. It just,
Absolutely.
even if you're a solopreneur, you have to have either outsourcing, you got to have a coach, mentor, you got to have somebody. So you're going to have to build some relationships, and then you're going to have to find some relationships that you trust more than others. And then you're going to have to invest in getting the help that you need. That's just it,
Absolutely.
bottom line. Those are just must moves for 2025. There are some of you who have looked at your business, look what you getting ready to start, and no, you don't even know the first steps. You don't even know, or you've got a great product, you got a great service, but you don't know the steps that it's going to take to go to the next level. You need somebody with experience, even if they're not in your industry. You need somebody with experience to really help you move forward. Okay. So the business pivot next on my, as I say, on my agenda is the business pivot. Because, all right, you've been in business, you've been in business a while, and then that book title, Who Moved My Cheese, looked like the cheese that moved. Looked like oh, wait a minute. Or like in the Bible, the brook dried up, and then we have to
Mhm.
move a business, have to pivot. Because 2020, we found that out. We realized, oh my goodness, we're rolling right along. It's 2020. Can we believe it? And then March 13, 2020, the whole world shut down. I still, even saying that still gives me like, I can't even believe it actually happened, and we lived it, and it's like 5 years.
I know.
In like 3 months, it's gonna be 5 years since that happened. Can you believe it, man?
I can't. When you think, I now think of things before COVID or after COVID. When
That's it.
you're
Yeah.
asking about, something that happened, and I think, now wait a minute, was that before COVID? And if it was before COVID, that automatically means it was more than 4 years ago, which is just crazy to me. Because I'll think something was, oh, that was just a couple of years ago. And then it's like, well, wait, but no, that was before COVID. So that means it was not a couple of years ago, it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Because we were talking about, an event we were at. I said, when did we go there? And I was like, oh, that was 2019. Oh, that was 2017. Oh, that was 20. Oh, that was before COVID. Because we know how many people. It was a lot of people in the room. We were all close together. Nobody had masks on. We would
Right,
have
right,
might have
right,
thought something was wrong with somebody. Do they have a critical illness? If I see somebody with a mask on, it's like, do they have a chronic illness or
right.
whatever? Because people that can't be susceptible to germs or have a chronic illness, and you're thinking, oh, okay, that's why they have a mask. Then in 2020, we all had masks. If you went outside, you had a mask on.
Yeah,
There's still people outside
yeah,
with masks on.
yeah.
So it's so the pivot, like
So when I think about the pivot and I think about COVID or 2020, one of the biggest pivots that happened was for those businesses who had been slow on having an online presence. They've been dragging their feet. They've been hearing it forever. In 2018, 2019, I have a brick and mortar. I don't know how to use Zoom and all of this stuff. 2020 came, and if you wanted to continue to make money in business, you had to figure out how to present that business in an online format.
yeah,
Even if you were delivering food, even if you had a restaurant
yeah,
and you had been dragging your feet on, DoorDash or delivery or anything like that, you had to make a pivot.
yeah,
And I think it's super important that as business owners, we look and understand the marketing trends. We
yeah,
have to look and see what's going on
yeah,
and how is that going to affect our businesses.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And what are moves other people are making? Now I realize, you can't keep up with the Joneses. You can't keep every up with everything new, because some of the new things are going to cost you. Some of the new things you don't have the budget for, but at least you know what to aim for. Put
Yes.
that big red target button and say, okay, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm aiming for. This is the steps I got to make to get there. And if you don't, follow the people who are there, and then make the moves that you can make. I think one of the things that is major. Okay, so Vanessa and I, with these little bitty babies, when we first started, we were both one publishing companies. That's what we had. We had one each. Okay, we had the one baby,
Yep.
and the one baby had its mission, its vision. It had what it would publish, what we wouldn't publish, who we did want to work with, who we didn't want to work with. And the who we didn't want to work with really wasn't a major issue. It's just, did it fit in the brand? Did it fit with the
Absolutely.
brand that we were a public? Nothing against anybody. It's not that kind of party. It's
Right.
nothing against anybody and what they have to offer, and that level was not that 17, 16, 17 years ago. It was not on that level. It's just, it had to go along with the brand. And probably the first 5 to 7 years, people said, do you publish X, Y, and Z, ABC genre, or do you do such a thing? No, I do this, I do that. No, this is what I do. Oh, I'm just getting the book to you. What happens after that book? Boot, that's on you. Whatever. But for the pivot for me is as the needs of my customer, I had to decide,
Yep.
is that something I can do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can do it. But is that something I want to do? And then third, is that something I want to associate my name with, because BK
Mhm.
Royston and Julia Royston is the same spelling. It's the same spelling. So I had to decide, is that something I want to associate my name to and with? And then even after publishing, it's now business coaching, it's now writing coaching, it's now writing workshops, it's now how are we going to turn that book that you have into a business and convert it? Some people, they just need the book. Some other people, that's the reason why we can have this business conversation, because we've literally taken books and created businesses with it. We've
Absolutely.
literally taken people with businesses and got them a product to go along with whatever the product or the business they were already in, or the nonprofit or the ministry that they already had. I can't tell you. Vanessa had a whole course on turning your sermons into a book. The
Mhm.
whole thing. The whole thing. So therefore they were like, I'm not really writing a book. And they didn't realize they were preaching their content every single solitary week. They had 52
Absolutely.
weeks of content, and or 45, whatever many weeks they preached.
Mhm.
All of that content can be turned into something and sold, so that now you're in the book business. Now you're not only in the Jesus business, the ministry business, but you're also in the book business. You're in the
And
business.
you're being a good steward
Yes,
over what,
exactly.
over that talent, over what
Yeah,
he has given.
right. So it's that what the needs of your customer are will eventually expand your business. Ask Blockbuster what happened.
Yeah.
Ask them.
My big pivot, the first pivot for me happened when that actually created my coaching business, which was like huge. I never went into this thinking about coaching. I started a publishing company to publish my books, mine. That's just, just
Me
mine.
too.
And after, singing no to money
Yeah,
for a couple of years,
yeah,
finally started publishing other people's books. And then I had an author who was referred to me, and she had this amazing book that was a little too spicy for my brand. Because
yep.
I had always said, and at that point, I think my daughter was around 15 years old. And I'd always said I was not going to publish anything that I would not feel comfortable with my 15-year-old reading.
Right.
Well, that was, it lets you know how naive I was at the time.
No, we had standards. No, no, no. We no,
But
no,
and
no.
what I say about naive is because I mean I knew, I didn't grow up in a perfect life or anything like that. I mean, and I knew people went through stuff. But some of the things that God has brought people out of,
Lord, I'm gonna
my
take on
goodness.
that
And
one.
I'm not talking about the stuff we see on TV.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
like real live people who have literally gone through hell and back.
Years
And
of it, though. Years
yes,
of
and
it.
those
Jesus.
stories needed to be told, and they didn't need to be watered down. They needed to be told. But at the same time, that was not, they didn't need to be told under my brand.
Yeah.
And that was when I did my first coaching. When I told that person, I said, I can't publish your book. I can show you how to publish it
Yeah.
so that you can get this message out, because it was definitely a message that needed to go out, but it just didn't need to go out under my brand.
Yeah. Right. 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 Yeah, I know. And then yeah, I have some spicy fiction and urban fiction and science fiction, and so that's kind of what is it? I guess it's 8, 9 years ago. It's Royal Media is 9 years old, but that was a money thing, and for me it was a spiritual thing too. I'm like,
Mhm.
Lord, am I gonna offend you? He said, get that money, girl. Like, no. He said, but you have to determine, is it high quality? Is it good quality?
Right.
Is it worth telling? Then it's worth doing. And so yeah, that's how Royal Media. But that was a clearly a need, a customer need, a
Absolutely.
customer. that trusted, that saw the other books I did and said, well, would you publish one
Yeah.
this? Would you do this? Well, okay. So me coming also from corporate before school libraries or whatever, I was the same way. I was at a Fortune 10 company and I did not know they had just an 800 number that's on the back of their products. There are actually people who answered those phones. Of course, now it's probably electronically because I've been gone so long. But that's all they say. Can you make this product in blue? Can you make that product add some apple spice to it? And that is how a lot of their products are changed, and
Yeah.
how their products have different flavors, have different, because it is clearly from customer requests. So what
Absolutely.
do you have? So those of you listening in business, what do you have that people say, have you ever thought about? Because you can't tell me, have you ever thought about? Oh no. And I might not have, but after then, I have a little
Yeah.
notebook. Dan taught me a long time ago. Girl, we got our notebooks with us at all times. We got to write
All
that.
the time.
And I always I always write it down. And by the, give me a few weeks, give me a few months, keep up with me. Dang, there we go. Ta-da!
Yeah.
Naughty wants to be a nurse, but oh, there's doctors in the house. Can you do one on doctors? Now they told me, do you know one on a nurse? I mean, no, on attorneys. Can you do a child, baby? Listen. So it's the need of a client, the needs of your customer. Are you willing? Now we've already talked about real estate, having your own internet real estate. If you need a website, if you need a landing page, you need something somewhere besides just send them to your social media pages and all that stuff. You got to get that in order. You got to see what that looks like. You need to have a conversation, even if you just say, okay, let me go get my, you know how you go, let me go get my money together and I'll come back. Because you need to know. You need to know what that number is. And
Yes.
I'm cool with it. I don't do the other people, they may do the pressure sales, but if they say they don't have it, I'm like, okay, I'll be ready when you're ready. I'm ready when you
Absolutely.
get ready. And then of course, um, your systems, we've talked about that. But then the other thing is balance. I gotta talk about balance, and then I gotta get to AI before we head on out. But balance is making sure that you have. I know when I did the book business boss consulting, and Vanessa said, "Okay, so when are we going to work on that business? Have you taken a day? Have you taken some time?" And I'm thinking, "I'll get it done." And then I realized what she meant. Like, okay, so is that a Mondays or is that a Fridays? Is that a Sunday evening while the football
What
game is
what
on?
day? Which
What
day?
day is that gonna be? And having to change, like my calendar can't be open 5 days a week when
Right.
it's growing and you're trying to be the project manager of multiple things. So you have to figure out what you do well and what you don't do well. And then you got to figure out what your money will have you do and what your money won't have you do that you still have to do. So therefore you have to cut back on something. You may have to extend for me, I've had to extend my turnaround. I used to
Mhm.
be able to turn something around like in an hour, or I'll get that to you tomorrow. Can't do that anymore. That was when the baby was 1 years old
Yep.
and I only had two books or three clients.
Right.
Now 17, almost 400, 300 people and almost 500 books. 17 years later, the teenager, you got to give me 3 to 5 business days.
Mhm.
Got to give me, some time. So
Absolutely.
it's for that balance because I have family obligations. I have, when am I going to do my laundry? When am I going to, when am I going to sleep? When am I going to
When are
do
you going to work on your business and
my,
not just in your business?
yeah. When am I going to work on it? When am I going to look at it and say, what do we want to offer? What do we want to roll out in first quarter?
Yep.
What do we want to roll out in second quarter? And then how are we going to do these two internet radio shows at the same time? Oh, and then when are we going to get our newsletters done? And then when are we going to get our blog posts? And oh my gosh, we got to post on social media. And we got to travel and pack
Yeah.
and hotels and vending. And yeah, we take a breather right there. But that balancing act, you also have to, health wise, you got to listen to your body as entrepreneurs and business owners.
That's
You got to
big.
realize, okay, I got to go to bed. I knew I was in trouble. Brian took me on a vacation this past summer, and the first night I slept 16 hours. I knew then, yeah,
You needed that.
Yeah, yeah. I've been running too hard, and I knew, you know how you're so tired, you feel like you're gonna be sick, and you like
Mhm.
that it's that feeling like you're having the flu, but it's you
Mhm.
not really the flu. And
Yep.
then I realized, okay, you're tired, you're
You're just
exhausted,
tired.
you've done
Yeah.
too much. And if
Absolutely.
you don't get in, I said, Lord Jesus, if you just let me get into this bed, I'm gonna do what you say and actually rest it before you make me go to a hospital. So that balance piece of understanding that you can't be everywhere, you can't do
Absolutely.
everything, and even at this recording is December of 2024. I already know some things I can't do till 2026, and I know that's a scary thought for some people to say. For real, is it running like that, Julia? It's running like that
Mhm.
because I'm like, no, I don't have the money for that. I don't have the time for that. I don't have the energy for that. And then I want to be able to go eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and sit on the, as they say, the dock of the bay. I may want to not work that hard. I may have to do a family reunion. I may have to, see about my 80-some-year-old mother. I may have to. So I have to leave space for that. I have to leave gaps for that. For new clients, it's a entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It's not for
Mm.
those who give up easy, and the first sign of any kind of resistance, or got to get up early, got to stay up late. No, girl. And you can't be the my way or the highway, right?
Got to be flexible. That's the word. That's the
That's the word.
word. If you don't leave with anything else, you have to be flexible. And that is even with yourself. You have to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself grace. You have to give your clients grace.
Yeah,
You have to have grace all around.
yeah.
There may be some things that you have to say this word to. Are you ready? This is a big one.
I'm sitting down. Tell me.
No. No is a complete sentence.
Get it?
Dr. Nadia Brown taught me that no is a complete sentence.
That's good.
So when you are in business, you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to say no. And that may be saying no to business opportunities that look really, really good, but you know you don't have the bandwidth. I had I have a person on my team, Jacqueline Turnbow, who is my accountability coach. And so every week we meet and we go through this list of things that I have said, during the course of the week, or, oh, I want to get this done. I'm going to get this done by the end of the year, by the end of the year. Girl, my list for the end of the year is
It,
huge.
it
Okay.
is long.
It's long. It's absolutely, I'm rebranding this. I'm rebuilding this. I'm doing all this stuff. And then, of course, we get these great ideas. Today would be the first day if you wanted to do something about the 12 days of Christmas. And I was like, oh,
That's
I can
tomorrow.
do
Yeah.
this.
Huh?
I came out with this big old plan. I was like,
Did
oh,
you?
yeah. And we start today and it can end on the 23rd. And I went through, I spent about 30 minutes on this call figuring out what product I could offer and what discount, and then all I got to do is build a page, and all I got to do is do this. And I got off that phone or got off that call, and I could just hear God saying, nope,
I know. I thought
nope,
about it. I'm with you on that. I thought about it. And he said,
nope.
no.
And I could just clearly hear. And it's another thing, if you are a faith based or faith led entrepreneur, uh, God will speak to you when it comes to your business, and you should listen. And I clearly heard, until you knock some of that stuff off that list, there is no 12 days of Christmas for you. There is no um, three French hens, two
It's
turtle
something in
doves,
the
and a
other.
partridge and a pear tree. You got to wait till next year because your list, you got too much stuff on your list. So
He was
you
telling us both. No, no, I can't do it. I don't have no room on my plate.
and no room, no
No,
room. So
no
you
room
have
on
to
my
be
plate.
able, and you have to be comfortable
Yeah. We
with.
should have thought of that back in September.
We should have.
We should have. Okay, we'll work on that. We'll put that for September
Yep.
2025. We'll put that on the list for
Yep.
the 12 days of Christmas. But otherwise, I can't be trying to do that right in now. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the capacity. I don't have the energy. I don't have the no, no. He's right. He's right. We gotta listen to him because we're not getting ready to be freaking out and do all that work and then nobody buy it. Oh no, 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 no. We don't have time for that and nobody get it. So okay, so I have to jump into the AI space just quickly. We don't have to say a whole lot. Some people are like, "No, I'm never gonna use it. No, I'm not gonna do it." Well, let me be the first to let you know AI has been inundated in pretty much everything we do, especially on the
Absolutely.
phone, especially on social media, especially in text messages, on your email, that little autocorrect that's there that's telling you, "Did you mean to say?" AI at work.
Mm.
So it's here. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. I primarily love it for utilizing, correcting my grammars, for helping me with suggestions on a better way to say that sentence, for ideas, for guidance. I love to use it that way. I'm still a writer to my core, but sometimes I need to know how to turn that email into a more salesy email. I need to know how to turn that description into one that an 8-year-old can read. I
Hmm.
need to be able to. I haven't quite got to the training it for my voice yet. I'm going to get there. I know that's next on my list, but I do like the assistant pieces.
Absolutely.
I Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, and as you use it more, you know, at least for ChatGPT, Chatty as I call him because we're really good friends. Chatty can now look through your conversations, and so it can start speaking in your voice.
Yeah.
So you're almost training it as you're using it. There's so many amazing ways to use ChatGPT and or to use AI. And for those of you who are thinking, no, I don't want to use this, I don't want to use this, I want you to imagine, if you're not old enough to think about to remember, I want you to imagine when the first calculator came
Lord.
and people were like, no, we can't use calculators,
Put them away. Put them away. I
put
remember
them
that.
away.
Put them away. Put them away.
Kids aren't going to be able to learn how to, you know, the world was just going to go to hell in a handbasket because kids were going to be using calculators
Not that brain. You turn your
instead of
brain
their
off.
brains, instead of, calculating all of this stuff. Now, if I was at a doctor's office and they were trying to hand calculate what my dosage should be, I would hand them a calculator. Just- it is here. Okay, it is here to stay, and you need to know how to use the tool
You
because the
do.
tool is not going away.
No,
It's not going away.
no.
One of my um, most favorite ways now to use ChatGPT is to have it almost as it's kind of an in-house strategist for me now. And I want you guys to try this when you are getting ready to launch something or market something, more than just the create landing page copy and create emails and all of that stuff. Ask ChatGPT to give you some ideas on how to market that particular thing. And if you know some other people out there that do marketing, ask ChatGPT how somebody would market it with a particular framework. So for us, Amy Porterfield, Russell Brunson, Ryan Dice, Frank Kern, there are some big marketers that are out there. You put that prompt in, and oh my goodness, it's going to bless your life.
Yep. Yep.
It is going to bless your life.
It'll now she's already taking us to the next level because I use it on the, as they say, the basic, and I have created some images with it, and some people say I know there are AI images. Yes, but I've met some new customers who like AI images
Yeah.
over drawn images.
Yeah.
Now I know that's a conversation for another time, and I don't want the illustrators to jump in because I'm gonna need them to draw some other stuff for me.
Right.
And we've had that conversation, the graphic artists, the graphic designers. And I thought I have a balance. I use all of my
Mhm.
illustrator people skills, but I'll throw an AI book generated image, and I'm very careful about it. And but people love it. People
Yeah.
love them. So I'm into it that way. I'm into it all the helpful. Now Vanessa's giving it another idea how we're going to market the same product like the big boys do it, like the big guys do it, like the multimillionaires do it. And
Yeah.
so I'm all about that. If I can, as they say, if I can get it in my budget and squeeze it in and maybe not take a trip or two, maybe I get it down to 25 trips instead of 40. So my friends say, yeah, right. You ain't gonna stop at the highway, do you? And I was like, I don't know. I tell you, as I get older, I'm like, do I really pull them bags? Do I really want to pull them carts? But new audiences, I'm always loving getting in front of new audiences, and that's another thing too about being in business is every time you get in front of new audiences, you have the potential for sales. And as much as we
Yes.
rely on our email list, and I love my return customers, I do. I love them for referring me, and shout out to all BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media, and the Book Business Boss Consulting clients who have referred me. I appreciate you. But then there's nothing else, nothing like getting in front of brand new audiences who see my
Yes.
products. And I didn't know there were Black publishers. Yeah, an interview on television. Thank you for Wish TV for in the interview
And that
recently.
was an amazing interview. That was awesome.
Thank you. And then, God bless. He said he'd do Exceeding Abundantly Part 2 is this Sunday, December 15th.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know. So I'm like, oh my Lord, thank you. So, getting media attention is a major, major, major deal on any level, and not only for live, but for to be streamed and for video on their website. I'm humbled and honored. I really, really am. So, God is, He's my refuge and my strength and a very present help. But but He's also my marketer and promotions
I was going to
because
say, he in the marketing department.
oh man, he's a genius. I said, for real? He said, oh yeah, That's what we're gonna do. That's how we're gonna do it right here, right now. So I'm very thankful. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope this has blessed you. Vanessa and I, we could talk for a long time, and I'm gonna, as they say, I'm gonna shut it down right here. We're gonna put a comma right here or a semicolon right here because we have much more we can discuss. If you need our help, if
Yeah.
you need, I don't want, they wouldn't help me. No, we will help you, baby. Come on. We will help you get you on the right road,
Yes.
and we'll invoice you too, but we're going to help you get you
Amen.
on the right road.
Amen.
Talk with Van or talk with Royston or have a conversation with us both so you can get your digital world in order. You're going to need that, especially if you're still working a 9 to 5 and you're building your business. I highly suggest that. I'm not one of those who says start the business and quit your job unless the Lord tells you to do that. That's between you and the Lord, because if He gives you instructions, He's going to give you the provision. So I'm going to leave that with you and the Lord. But if not, then I have done it. I worked full time and I built it at
Yep.
night on the weekends. Vanessa and I jumped on at 9 o'clock. We're gonna do it again this weekend. 9 a.m. That's our time. We early risers, and
Yep.
when we got to get some products done and projects finished, we're early risers. Saturday morning, well, I know Brian Royston's still in the bed asleep, and for an hour, really hash some things out. So you really, you really need to work on it. Think about it. The rest of this year that you got, we've still got what we got, like 20. No, we only have like 17, 18, 20, 19
Right.
days, somewhere along in there
Yep.
left of the year. And you got opportunity. I think Miles Monroe said the richest place is the cemetery where the dreams and the goals and the
Yep.
discoveries went to die. I
Mhm.
think I do not count anything that I do that didn't quite work out. I won't say it was a failure. It didn't quite work out like I thought as a total failure because I learned
Yeah.
something. I think
Absolutely.
my biggest regret in my whole life will be not trying something that I knew I could do, that I knew I was purposed to do, that I knew I should do, and I was just too scared to do it. I don't want that. I don't want that shit. I would, and I hate to say this out loud, but I will. I will stand 10 toes on business, as the kids say, and say that I would prefer to try and go for it and not win than to not go at
Absolutely.
all. At least I
Absolutely.
say I went for it and I
Absolutely.
tried it. And especially if it's something my father used to say that human beings do and not machines or animals do. There's something human beings do and you have a desire to do it,
You
go
can
for
do
it.
it too.
Get the information you need to have, get the coach you need, get the stay up with the YouTube, whatever you need to do. Ask
Hmm.
so you know the questions to ask. You, I don't even know what to ask. Well, did you Google it? Did you look? You didn't even have to AI. Did you Google it first?
Yep. Yep.
And then you'll at least get started and you can at least ask some questions because the businesses we're in now, not just book business, but business we're in now,
Hmm.
it's changing so rapidly. It's
It
changing
is.
all the time.
Yeah.
So keep up with it. Thank you so much, Miss Vanessa Collins.
Thank you.
Always
Thank
a pleasure.
you.
Love you much. Until
Love
next
you too.
time, you all be blessed. Bye bye.